the next PNP government intends to move Jamaica in the right direction.
We intercede this morning on behalf of the leader of the parliamentary opposition, Mr. Mark Golding. Lord, grant him what he needs to be grounded and level-headed, calm and composed in the cut and thrust of doing politics in Jamaica, and especially during this season of heightened political activity. Lord, may he, by his manner of being and speaking, embody and exemplify to all Jamaicans conduct that is upright and wholesome. Adorn his life with the virtues of honesty, decency, integrity, respect, and commitment to country. In difficult times when he is tested, give him a spirit of restraint and graciousness. Save him from the temptation to seek power at all cost and to engage in cheap, divisive rhetoric.
Hello, JPU family. Welcome to another episode of Jamaica Politics Uncovered. Guys, if you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. We have an exciting program coming on. Tonight, you're going to hear from JPU 411 and Karen Cross. We are all going to congregate here and have a chat tonight. The topic over here tonight is politics, mental fitness, and of course, we are going to have to talk about psychiatrist Dr. Saphire Longmore. We're also going to talk about some data that we have seen about 10 to 15 years ago in Jamaica, where the late psychiatrist, Dr. I think his name was Cleckley or something. I'll get the information as we load up here, where there was a study done, and I'm going to reveal to you what that study said about the mental health of Jamaica at large. So welcome to the platform, guys. We're going to talk tonight. Did you just hear the prayer that was done a few days ago at the prayer breakfast? This was brought to my attention just today. And what the lady said at the end of her prayer, it was a bit awkward, but we're going to get into it. This has been a topic of discussion all week, you know. Of course, those of you who follow this channel, follow my blog over the last 4 years or so, you would know that, you know, this thing about mental health of those leading the PNP has been a topic of mine, you know, for as long as you've been listening and for as long as these guys came about. Also, you would have heard, you know, people like Karen recently. This is one of the reasons why, you know, we're doing this collaboration tonight, is because people like Karen, they have been talking about this mental health situation. Of course, with the psychiatrist and Senator Dr. Longmore, who recently came out and made her speech about the mental fitness, mental competency to make good decisions. That sparked a national discussion at this time. Is Mark Golding on the PNP hierarchy? Those who are out there, those who we are seeing, those who are campaigning, those who are speaking, are they mentally fit? Let's talk about it tonight. Jamaica 411 also made some comments on it as well. As you can see, that's her thumbnail. Something is desperately wrong with Mark Golding. And I just showed you the one where Karen Cross said, signs Mark Golding is not mentally well. So again, first of all, I crowned Dr. Longmore Woman of the Year. I know why I crowned her Woman of the Year. Because it's always women who are going to step out and do what is brave and what is right. Always women first. I have said it over here before time and time again also that whenever there is a revolution, revolutions are often started by women. So me have to crown her woman of the year because what she said in the Senate is in the interest of our country and as it should be. So let me just go ahead and acknowledge our friends here before I get started. Moderator, thank you for joining. Moderator is here. All our old subscribers, new subscribers, welcome. Thank you for joining. If this is your first time, I appreciate you being here. Please hit up the like button for me, please, guys, and share this live. Yes, we need to share this information so that, other people will hear what is the latest and what is happening. Let us just play this for you real quick, just in case you have not heard this video. Here goes.
Cause take me nothing to come up here and rub out Andrew, rub out Tufton, rub out Floyd, and rub out the one of them. And we big and broad, and we not afraid, and no boy, nowhere not there.
The longest black democracy in Jamaica, in the world, should not have the possibility of that image being found. The possibility, whatever made him make that decision to do that, it causes me to question his capacity to make decisions as a leader. I am not talking about skin color. I'm not talking about the fact that he was playing a skit to remove the shackles of the God. No. This is the image that is embedded, that is there now for the world, for every generation. Can you imagine this now? We are going fully into being a republic. And this would be, or the possibility thereof, and this would be the image that we would have of our Prime Minister. Mr. President, in knowing ourselves, we must know who we have at the helm of leadership. And I want each and every one of you over there to look at that and without any form of explanation, relate to your children that is your leader? No. And so, Mr. President, I have incited a response because I am hitting truth.
Yes, guys. So I don't think that anybody should ever shy away from questioning their leaders' mental competency. We should never do that because when you are hiring a leader to either lead a community, to lead a political party, or to lead a country, or to lead a church, or anything, an organization, it is a very important job. And you don't want to have a leader who turned out to be a Jim Jones. Those of you who know the story of Jonestown, you would know the story of Jim Jones. So, it is a legitimate concern of mine, and it should be a legitimate concern of yours. And like Dr. Longmore said, she has a duty, and she does. Just like I have a duty and you have a duty, she has a duty to make sure that Jamaica does not end up in the wrong hands. Guys, we have disagreed on politics before. We have had our differences before. But I don't think there was ever a time when we have had to question the mental fitness of any leader in terms of making good decisions and good judgment. And we only need one piece of evidence to point to in this case to show you guys that yes, we have a legitimate concern and we should have a legitimate concern. When a leader, Mark Goling, can do something like this, when a leader can allow other people to talk him into encouraging him, inviting him to do something like this, rightfully, we have to question his mental fitness to lead Jamaica and to make important decisions that will affect the lives of 3 million people. Yes, we have a legitimate concern. So, I'll just read some of your comments real quick while the other ladies jump in. Let me see. Yeah, it's a profound statement. So, Uno think she deserved the Woman of the Year? I think she does. I think she does. I mean, talking about courage, for those of you who don't know, she has fought the good fight. She has fought breast cancer. And people who go through those trials and challenges in life, they become brave. Things like that will make you brave. I can tell you that right now. I don't know if she's always been that way, but what I know about her battle, which she fought publicly, basically, I can say that, yes, she's a woman of courage. So I think it's befitting to have the title Woman of the Year. Hopefully, it will be a legitimate thing when the time is appropriate. But members say at JP, you give the title first, Woman of the Year. Good night, Kevin. Thank you for joining. Long time listener, sure every night and day I wish to see your show. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for listening. Guys, please do hit up the like button for me. Dayton Campbell was the one who orchestrated that photograph that we see, and why Dr. Longmore is questioning, the leadership and so on. So if Dayton Campbell is the mastermind behind that whole thing, then clearly Mark Golden doesn't seem to be the only one with a problem. Dayton Campbell also has a problem. Here comes 411. Good night, 411. Thank you for joining. Say hi to the audience.
Oh, me?
Yes. Thank you for joining.
Good evening. Yeah, sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. JPU family, how are you all doing?
Yes. So Karen soon coming here now.
Yes, she just tending to a little matter. She soon come.
Yes. So we're here to talk about politics, mental fitness, and Dr. Longmore and her statement recently, which is now a topic of national discussion. So let me just start with you while you're here, 411. Your thumbnail, when you said something is desperately wrong, with Mark Golding. I want you to explain to the people, for those who have not seen that video, I want you to tell the people, and even those who have seen it, tell the people what inspired you to say, because I think you did this before Dr. Longmore spoke, right?
Yeah, I put it in the morning. You're asking me to remember what it is, but may have Lawrence there, so may have Steve. I wonder what the Dickens himself. I don't remember. Well, I don't want to. I don't remember what it was, because I make so much videos. But
Why did you title it this way? Were you making reference to his mental fitness?
yes, of course, it's something that it was something that he said at the at that conference he had to install Steve McGregor.
Okay.
But if you ask me what, me don't remember.
Okay. So,
Me so
do you,
remember.
okay, so since you don't remember that, do you want to make a comment on, first of all, what do you think a leader's mental fitness means and how important it is and what it should be? Just give the audience a quick summary of what you think a leader's mental fitness should be and look like.
Well, the first thing is if you're a
I
political
can't.
leader,
Okay,
you're not hearing.
start
If you're
over.
a if you're a political leader of a political party or an organization and you're the leader, the main thing you're supposed to be able to do is to attract votes. That's
Yeah.
the key. And to attract votes, one of the main role I see the leaders having is to be able to carry the party's message. Now, Portia, some of them claim that Portia was dunce, but Portia would read off a paper, but Portia know how to deliver when she spoke, right? So to all of the previous leaders, Andrew certainly improved. He was a young fellow anyway, and he improved a lot, and he's doing quite well with it. But Mark cannot carry a message. You see, like sometimes you ask me to do something, and I have to call you back and say, well, you have to do again. I mark that. Right? Last year, they gave him a message to go to Manning's High School. I played it in my previous video. And he walked into the place, looked like he was either tired or drunk or maybe him took his medication. I don't know what. Man, I walk a stagger, him mouth open. Him eye them look dazed. Him all a step up like he must step over something. When the other security on either side of him walking straight, and then him go up on the platform and him talking about health. And the one thing he should not say as somebody seeking to replace the government, he's in opposition, right? You want to talk about how bad the health system is and that the government don't have no solution to the problem, right? The man said the health system is bad. And then he went on to say, and all them can talk about is that them are going to build new hospital and expand hospital. And then he realized him mistaken, pause. And then him start to say, and then he go back and say, oh, the hospital is bad. And at the end of it, him said them don't know what them doing. Right? That they sit down and discuss with him, and he knew what the government said. I didn't even know. So the government said they were going to be building hospital and expanding the hospitals that we have now, which would mean that you're going to create more beds for people who need it. Right? The hospitals are full to capacity, and that is the reason why people have to wait for a bed to come available before them can get the health care. Right? And so he went to give them the message that is what happened. People up on bed and thing, and the government must come defend itself. Instead, him go flap him out. He could not carry the message. Right? It was down in St. Elizabeth. I think I went last night. Right? And he's supposed to be carrying the party's message. I'm talking about the Prime Minister and the Prime Minister statutory declaration, and he's on the investigation for illicit enrichment and blah, blah, blah. And then he started to tell his St. Elizabeth people about them plans for farming, and whole place was dead silent. You know why it was dead silent?
Tell me now.
Because they want to hear how the farming thing go. And so they were listening intently to what he was about to tell them. And him told them what Dayton going to do, what Dayton vision is, I suppose, and this is that and the other. And when he finished, I don't hear a murmur out of the people. Them going to get loan and them type of thing there and all them kind of thing there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that is what I realized with him. So if you have to be able to deliver the message, you have to be able to you have to understand the message and then deliver the message. That's all you're supposed to do as a leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know whether he's speaking from a piece of paper or he has no paper before him. He ever is opening his mouth and saying the wrong thing.
Okay, so why am I echoing?
No. Hold on a little. Oh, why this thing a process so long? Still echoing?
Yeah.
All right.
So I want to know. You said that
And so,
everything him say wrong.
well, him ever putting him foot in his mouth.
Okay.
You still hearing the echo?
Yeah, I am.
All right, let me call you back. Because
All
it
right, no
might be.
problem.
Yeah, I'm going to have to use the phone.
All right, cool.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, guys. So you just heard 411 say that in her view, Mark Golding seemed to always be saying the wrong things and obviously holding up the shackles of a big stone head, doing the wrong things as well. And being in the wrong place at the wrong time. For example, being on the stage with Danishka Williams on Sunday night. When you see all those dancehall artists come up there and chip out a portion to a bad word. And when that was happening, he did not take control of the situation like a leader would. You know, like when they did that with Philip Paulwell, when the selector guy did that at Paulwell's 25th anniversary. And Paulwell did not delay. As soon as he heard him started attacking the Prime Minister in that nasty way that he tried to, and his wife, Paulwell got up from his seat and run upon the stage. And in front of everybody, he said, "No, we're not doing this here." That is somebody who is mentally competent. That is somebody who is a leader. That is somebody who immediately knew the difference between right and wrong and stopped it. It's like when you see a child going to touch a hot stove. You don't let the child touch the stove and get burned. You get up, your instinct tell you, get up and go get that child before the child gets burned. But last night, Sunday night, when he was up there on the stage and saw the people carrying on and doing those things, it's like he was just in the room enjoying himself. So he does not respond appropriately to different situations. And that's a problem. Good night, Karen.
Good night, JPU family. Good night, Natalie. Good night, everyone.
Yes, thank you for joining. 411 just jump off because of some audio issues, so she'll be back.
I
So
saw. I heard that.
yes. So good night and thank you for joining. So we're talking tonight about the politics, mental fitness, and of course, Dr. Saphire. So you want to jump in and tell the people them real quick why, for those of you who have not seen Karen's video titled Signs Mark is Not Mentally Well, if you haven't listened to it or if you have listened to it, you want to tell the people, Karen, what you thought when you first heard the Senator-Psychiatrist stood up in that Senate and spoke on what nobody else did in the parliament?
Well, my first thought, honestly, my first thought was, damn, she carried out instructions from Justice Panton. That was my first reaction, and I started laughing
Why
because
why is the Justice Pantan now?
in his visit to Parliament to talk to our parliamentarians when he went there disrespecting our parliamentarians, he suggested that the parliamentarians have some kind of mental illness or something them drinking water, and he went as far as saying he's going to ask the senator to check them out, basically to go check out who are them mental state.
Oh
So
wow.
he said that, and so when I heard her, I started laughing. I said, "Damn, Justice Panton, give some instructions, and she'll follow it out." And then I thought, well, she'll start with Mark. She's not going to get to nobody's by the election because Mark is going to take a long time to sort out. So that's what I thought the first time. You know, that's my first thought. But then I listened to her over and over, and I was having a kind of crush, on her while I listened to her. And then something has occurred to me that those who know, but Jamaica would not have had the benefit of listening to her nationally since she has been in the Senate. Because I think this is probably the second time I have heard her.
Yeah.
So Jamaica would not have had the benefit. So coming from her as a trained psychiatrist, a doctor of medicine, it gives credibility to the argument that many have been making, including ourselves, for the last 2.5 years or so. That this man's mental state is a little bit. She was specific because she had the graphics to back up her argument as a psychiatrist, and she was not saying him mental. She was saying that his capacity to make good decision is lacking, and all of it she proceeded to show us the evidence of it all. So Jamaica can't escape it. It's not just a politician in Parliament cussing another politician. This is a senator and a doctor. Well, a doctor first, senator second, who is giving a professional assessment.
Right.
And in doing that professional assessment, she presented the hard evidence. And that to me also was quite a thing. It was really quite a thing. And I said, damn, this is I then said, God is good.
So Karen, you've been around for a while and you've been watching this politics for some time. Has there ever been a time where an opposition leader or prime minister has had their mental health questioned?
I can't ever recall at the most after 1980, where we were all young and we don't know what the rhetoric was in 1980, except that there was gun and shooting and killing and all of that. But after 1980, the rhetoric was basically it was manageable in terms of what each party and party leader addressing. When Michael Manley, we were out of Parliament, and Michael Manley used to have the Parliament down by the Oceana Hotel, and called the People's Parliament and People's something another. And the rhetoric was always directed at the government and in some specific way the leader of the opposition. I can't even recall either Michael, PJ, Siaga, or Bruce, or Portia actually saying, saying mad or something like that. I can't even recall what I'm using the word mad. That is what I've been running around in my head since last Friday. I can't recall one of them going on a platform, and I can't recall Michael Manley say Siaga is mad, don't listen to him, or Siaga say Michael is crazy, or Siaga say PG lick him head, or somebody need to check him out. Not like that. There was nothing like that. The entire discourse between both leaders, though sometimes acidic, was never delved in the realm of questioning each other's mental capacity. No, never.
Oh. So, I mean, Mark Golding hasn't really responded, and I don't know what you would say to that. Somebody questions your mental health as a leader.
Him, I think that, and this is just my view, I think that one, he himself cannot respond to it because he himself have had some serious mental breakdown since the resistance started beat him up. And I'm not making any joke about this. There's not joke and this is not conjecture. There were times when we were doing some things to him, saying things and putting things out there, all of us. And him just basically fall apart. Like, for example, when Jamaica's the flag raising ceremony at National Heroes Park, where he didn't show up and he sent Orius Daly. You might recall that?
Yes, yes.
My information is that he wake up the morning and was having a little meltdown, saying him nah go. He can't go, he can't bother. Send somebody else. That in itself is a mental breakdown. There were times when we put out things on him in the earlier days, and he was saying he refused to. Some mornings he refused to get up, and that's information that I have had. I mean, from very, very, very credible sources. There were days when him would say he can't bother and him want to give up this thing, and then Angela and Bunting and Dayton them would sit him down and have a strong talk with him and tell him, man, we're there with you, man, and don't worry yourself, we'll move on. So he has been having those breaks and lapses in time from time to time, and go to meetings and have to constantly be asking what was somebody saying, what is it that I'm supposed to do. So so it has been happening for a while. Just to say, it has been happening for a while. And if we go back to before he became, or was it when he became opposition? I don't know. In that thing in the parliament, remember, and Bunting quiet him down. Those are signs as well. It's just that we took it for a joke, you know. But after the psychiatrist speaks and sent us all, I have no psychiatry book at all. I don't have any, you know. Except this one book that is not so much about psychiatry but more about serial killer, but it delves into it a little bit. And when she spoke last Friday, she basically put things into context for us. That's it.
Well, did you find it interesting that she didn't come out and make any diagnosis? Of course, that would be inappropriate, right?
No.
But
She was speaking from the perch of the parliament, and she had that to protect her because she's speaking from the upper house.
Yes.
She went in, and it's a political. The parliament, however, we might take it, is for legislation and for looking after the people's business, but it's also a political perch, which our parliamentarians use to score points where nobody can trouble them outside of the parliament in terms of suing them or holding them that kind of it. So she used it. Well. She did that diagnosing. She just stated clear facts. This is what he did, and this is what he has said, and based on those evidence that is available to the public as a trained medical professional, this is what I think. So that's what she did. Rightly so.
So you think the Jamaican, well, first of all, let me just ask you the same question I asked 411. In leadership, when we talk about mental fitness, what is the expectation? Because, I mean, everybody come with a different kind of, way about them. I don't think there's anybody who would have come in with the same exact, style of leadership and the same level of fitness, if you will. Still fit, but some people might come with a different kind of thing because we're all different. So when you talk about mental fitness in leadership? What is your imagination of that person?
Well, mental fitness in as a leader, I think, is one of the most important thing in leadership. Certainly when you're leading people,
Yeah.
and I mean 3 million people. Come to think of it, um, and everybody come with them different style, but their different style does not question their mental fitness because the different style is really ordinary. So Siaga and Michael used to go at it, and they had two different styles. And then PJ and Siaga used to go at it, and they had two different styles. But
Mm.
there was no question in a way that both of them are capable to run the country and command the respect of the people that they are leading. But styles are usually different. PJ was quiet and unassuming and staying, and was more a background man. You really see him until you see. You know, Siaga was more outgoing and out there and loud and love to call. Siaga was sometimes Siaga was kind of a bully sometimes. And pick a fight, not bully you, but in pick a fight. Him having moments when just pick a fight, and then just start a fight, say a few things, and then pardon me. But the other people carry the fight, but they were different style. Peter Phillips was also somewhat like that. They not really pick fight, but him yeah.
Sorry.
Then Portia was conciliatory, but sometimes she was also vociferous in some of the things that she wanted to get across, especially when them tick her off. So I don't. We couldn't say for sure what what Bruce Golding was or would have been like, because what happened to Bruce is that he left politics and went into talk show host on radio and owned a different kind of skills, and he honed that skill and honed a certain way of talking, which was outside of what he was when he was in the politics. So therefore, he reinvented himself, and it worked. He brought it into the politics, and that worked also. When Andrew Holness started, he was young and inexperienced. He had a lot of hiccups and buck toe. And the one good thing about him about Andrew Holness is that he learned to laugh at himself, and he was self-deprecating sometimes. And he learned from that, it seems. Michelle and I talk about it all the while, how he has grown. I remember Siaga sent Andrew Holness to the opening of Emancipation Park. Andrew Holness was the one who came on behalf of Siaga to represent the opposition. And it rained like hell the day at the opening of Emancipation Park. And Andrew Holness came in. And when it was time for him to speak and deliver the message on behalf of the leader of the opposition, Andrew Holness said, try to crack a joke about politics. And he said, I came in, I walked into this beautiful park, and I look around me, and everything was green. And all the Laborites in the crowd was, yeah, and the place crack up. Even PJ was cracking up about it. But then when PJ came to speak, PJ said, young Mr. Holness is finding his footing. I applaud him. But I want to remind him of something. Green is the color of orange before it ripe.
For Jesus.
And is not so much that, but it's when during this time of politics that we're in now, and the things we are doing now, it forces you to go back and listen to some things and watch some things and remember some things. It forces you to remember some things because you're trying to compare now to then and the history of our politics, and it forces you to remember things. And I remember this out of the blue one day, and the image that I'm left with when my memory started walking and was coming to an end was when PJ said that Andrew bust out laughing, almost pitch over them chair. And PJ stepped back and touched his shoulder and told him about a nice laugh. And I mean, when you stroll your memory and find that, people must understand why we do what we do now.
Okay. Well, the country is talking about this situation here. And I don't know how the Jamaican people, because it's going to get louder, you know. Election is coming. It is going to get louder. Dr. Saphire, she's going to speak. I'm sure she's going to speak more. She was just, I didn't expect to see her out in St. Thomas carrying the same message, trying to tell the people, listen, we better take a second look at this because something wrong over that side. So, I want to think the 411 coming upon that question. How you think the Jamaican people will receive this message from the Jamaica Labour Party and Dr. Saphire?
Well, the diehard PNP will not listen. The most important, I mean, they are all important, but to the parties, I would think that another very important group would be the what do you call them? Swing voters. They are the ones who are more likely, and the laborites, of course, because it's coming from their side, to start to watch him and listen to him. That is going to happen now.
Take time.
People say, hold on, no. Then say, no. Even the PNP people start to listen to him and say, hold on, why they must say the man not right? You understand? Just like I imagine with, you accuse somebody of something and then just start to watch and say, all right, make a look out for it. Make we listen next time. It may drive people to his page. It might drive people to anything that he's on, just like what happened before when him started to make the stupid statements and people start to follow him. Just to hear, if you're going to make some more stupid statement, they'll be the first to hear and put it out. But he had improved during that period. And then, of course, it fell off. So it could have the effect of having people going on his page to see what, to listen to him and so on. But the swing voters, they are the ones the parties need to worry about. And now that's Saphire Longmore. Thanks to what's his name? Comrade, not Comrade, Justice Panton, beg your pardon. Thanks to Justice Panton for asking her to to take an evaluation of all these parliamentarians, because something must be wrong. Nice people outside, and the minute them find themselves into parliament, you don't know what happened. I'm not sure if it's not the water and the carry on, right? So he was the one that invited her, right? And she started out with Mark Bowling.
Poor Jesus. Justice Panton, good night if you're over here. Oh, Jesus.
They must be kicking themselves because nobody can now complain what she did, because there is the integrity man himself, Mr. Integrity.
Oh, yes.
Nobody in the country will have more integrity than him.
Ladies, let me just raise this question real quick. I personally said about 2020, when we really see what really are going with this Rise United movement. Karen, them time they left the movement already. When me step back and really take a look at the movement, me say, you know what? In my opinion, I think when they say birds of a feather, this is serious, because me think the whole of them something wrong with them. And then when it really came to light that something was wrong, I am sorry to have to bring this up, but when time you see what happened to Melissa, and Sylvia is part of this clique of them with Iman Golden and the rest of them, Dayton and so. And I'm saying, if you reflect back on it and you see what Mark Golden did with the announcement of Melissa's death, and then it's as if they were trying to cover it up, it make you wonder, say, well, at least that's what I was thinking. I was like, you know what? It looked like there's a problem with the whole of them people here.
Well, I think we may have discovered it from before. when them really are talk about some of the things that them put out about how Ma going win and all that. These people are delusional. I mean, it's some serious head business are going over there, so I need that tent.
No, sir.
Something is wrong with a whole lot of them.
Yeah, come here. So then when him come out and I taught them something about Sylvia, about condolences to Sylvia, and then little bit of blood, she come out, come say, a little bit of blood did there, Melissa. Me say the whole of them sitting around with them.
No, and some of them.
So
Look
me I
at
say
that.
Mark Golden never know better as a liar. For no say the woman dead. Whether you know how it go or not, you allow the police they make them announce the death and do their work. But him come out and come talk like he was sympathizing with the very man who became a suspect and now in custody, and them say a film gun and everything. So
The man not a liar. The man a big liar.
Yeah,
the
man.
judgment,
One of the best them said.
we say
Man a big liar.
so the judgment now of Mark Golden in that situation, it proves that yes, there is something not clicking, because you got implicate yourself in a something like that, and because in Jamaica sometimes anybody can come and do what they want, nobody never trouble him because him is an Englishman. And if it was your average person and then come say something like that, the police will be talking to them and even suspecting them too as part of something bad. But in Jamaica, he get away with that, and it's like, okay, who does that? You know what I mean?
Well, you asked me before now what it was I said in that video. I had to go back go listen to it. What ticked me off about what he said in Central Kingston, it was about that speech when he was putting in McGregor, right?
Oh, yeah.
And what ticked me off was when he referred to McGregor as a quality person, right? And I had to ask the question. You see, the man is slow. It took a while, no matter how we beat him about the OT Fear Club thing, and kept putting it out until it looked like them finally tell him you need to cut it out. Right? It went on about his father and when father do from pure lie. Right? And no care how you put it out there, him still come back with the same thing.
And the ancestor something.
And the ancestor thing, right? Pretending like them have any black blood. This Jewish man, whole whole family come from Europe, right? Then it went on about now this Tapanaris business. So we beat him over the Tapa, and the Laborites beat him over about this Tapanaris, and decided to substitute the word now and come to about quality, right? And I said, but this man, something is desperately wrong with this man. Something is tough. Then him also talk about some other things. Him talk about the real man. Now a real man come down to Central Kingston, right? And then he went on to talk about the decision was made based upon the party's rules. And they want to put and of course the party's rules, so that is the delegates in the constituents who make the choice. They have an executive, right? So he's there talking things that him don't know the party's constitution. Either that or him don't care, him think of him party and think him own it. And he must therefore be the one to make the decision. Of course, when him do that, and the party lose the election, everything went fall squarely on his shoulder because him put them there. Right? They took out Lawrence Rowe, I don't know, they never give no reason, give all sorts of different reasons, and put a man in there telling Emily Shields about how them did checks. They went and they did checks, and then they find that he will be better. And he can't say what kind of checks. No, I'm not going to tell her what kind of checks. You understand? So I'm saying that the man is not able to carry a message. And if you can't carry the party's message, the problem, you're not serving a useful purpose.
Okay.
That's the Karen there, she can tell you. She know about these things better than
Karen, coming upon this. Carrying the party's message. Because right now, Karen, I don't know if you heard this, but let me just play this real quick, because to me, I don't know who is really carrying the message, but listen to this real quick.
Cause it don't take me nothing to come up here and rub out Andrew, rub out Tufton, rub out Floyd, and rub out the one of them. And we big and broad, and we not afraid, and no boy, nowhere not there.
Yes, so it looked to me like so the person who really carry the message for the PNP. There might be a struggle between Dayton Campbell and Golden. You see what happened with the 2% food tax, where Dayton come out and then Golden had to come out and say something, and we're like, wait a minute, how many leaders are in the PNP, or how many policy ideas do they have? You know what I mean?
Michelle, go on talk. Let me I just run it down the street.
They have one policy idea. They sat down, and that was a decision that was made. They name scarcely any better than Mark, right? Because he went out there to say something, and he went and said too much. And that is what happened there. And then no, Mark not being the one who said it and being the party leader, he can come now and correct. But by correcting, it's showing that they're divided. They're divided as to what the policy of the party. They're trying to pretend that they're united. And it's everybody a hug and a shake hand and go on with them most. And all the people who we used to call authentic PNP, the whole of them underneath the tent with them now. Right? And that is the appearance. But when they open them out talking about the direction, which the Englishman says the right direction. This someone has said this. Damien him said that he will increase GCT by 1%. The party going to increase GCT by 1% to get $25 billion, right, to spend on education. Right? And then them came out now after the furor started and the Labour them start on them, and Mark him come retract. Not Mark, it was Julian who retracted and said them have no such discussion. Then where Damien get that from? Then now you see Damien come back with the same thing. As a matter of fact, when Damien came out, Damien said, them keep talking about no new taxes. But if you want to have programs that will benefit people, is what he's saying, you have to come with taxes. You get it? So that is a discussion that's happening inside. They have programs to introduce. And as long as the programs is expected to be recurring, the expense to operate them is recurring, like when you have, like the police. So, the police is a recurring expense every year. They have to pay the police. If you're coming with a program that is going to do something and it's going to have a recurring expense on the government, you have to find the money from somewhere, and that's through taxes. And you can't talk about you go take tax right here because you have to cut something, right? And you have to tell us what you're going to cut.
They are very confusing in trying to first of all, there should be one cohesive message coming from the party.
Yes.
And it is the leader who carries the brunt of that cohesive message. And then the leader would dispatch people who can carry message effectively to carry parts of that message.
Especially this close to an election, right?
Yeah, man, but that's what I want to go back now. Even before the spokes, which is why a party leader takes care in terms of who he names or she names to be spokesperson for a particular portfolio, like agriculture, for example, finance, education, development, and commerce, and stuff like that. Because those people and national security, those people are basically the backup team for the party leader to carry an effective message. Now you look around you, and it is very clear that it's Dayton Campbell carrying all message. And Damien Crawford sometimes get a chance to push in him 2 cents to say that him have a plan, but him not share it to nobody because he don't want them thief it away. Him for continue with that, the Jamaican people, tell the Jamaican people that. So there's a cohesive message. And when they named the spokespersons, when it was last year or early this year, I don't remember, I think it was last year, when they named the 77 men and women spokesperson, none of those persons, most of those persons outside of the parliament and therefore can't speak on whatever portfolio that they were given. Dayton, for example, can't address the Minister of Agriculture from his budget presentation in Parliament because he run at the back and one tree while the minister in the Parliament, you know, and he can't address that. So what happens that under such a how them organize it, it would then mean that there are 2 or 3 persons in the Parliament that would have to carry all of that 77 spokesperson something.
And Mark is the one. Mark is the one that is carrying all of them.
That was the design. The design was to give Mark the visibility by leaving him to talk about everything. Everything, including how you wipe the floor on which map for buy. Everything he was supposed to talk about. And then he failed at that because he couldn't even talk about what he supposed to talk about. So even now in an election year, they're going to be slow to the box. Julian is not out there talking about economic policy. The national security spokesman hide. We just don't know who's in charge of commerce. There's a technology person who is Paulwell and some other person I don't know. Nobody can match the government or even hold a conversation regarding what the government is doing. You have to take one of 2 things from that. One, either them have nothing to offer, or 2, everybody believe that what the government doing is the correct thing, and for them to start say anything else, they're going to look fool. And those are the 2 conclusions I came to.
Oh.
Well, for certain, them don't have any overarching. But the first thing, they don't have a vision. There is no vision. Mark was at the conference.
Mark said him have vision, Damien have vision, Dayton have vision, Dawes have vision. You ever hear Mark say everybody have them vision?
Yes.
Mark said that.
He never said man no vision. Oh, he said that.
So hold on, Michelle. So what he's saying is that there is no one vision, and if there's no one vision, there is no one message. And if there's no one message, then you can't have a breakaway of people talking about different things. So every time Dayton get up, let the bike pass, and just start lobbing mouth and shout for the top of his voice and looking like the struggle that it is, everything just look frazzled. So them don't have anything. And the cover up argument for not having anything is that them don't want to talk because the JLP might thief the idea. Because they don't realize up to this point that the government's policy is PNP policy that Mark and Bunting say they would not carry out because them don't believe in democratic socialism. So maybe that also contribute, Michelle, to why them, I'm going to finish now, to why them can't articulate a message. Because the message that they would have to articulate can be the one that Mark want to articulate, because he's a capitalist and so is Bunting, and they make it clear that they are not democratic socialists, and people want democratic socialist program, which are the programs now that this government is carried out. So and them can't counter it because Mark's agenda, Bunting's agenda, is a sinister, deep capitalist agenda, and them can't share to the people. Have them share to the people are about them down.
Why? So 411 just made an interesting comment. Say, Julian, who is supposed to be the shadow spokesperson on finance, Dayton take him work. Because Dayton is the one out there talking about taxes. He's out there telling Anjo, say, I'm going to rob out Anjo, and I'm going to do everything. And it's like he's the director of this play.
Him is not only director, him is director, producer, the star, the acting, him is everything. Him write the play, him star in the play, him direct the play, him produce the play. He's taking his instructions from Bunting. But him alone out there. Nobody is out there, and that is cause for Jamaican people should have concern over that. Apart from my mental state, which is clear.
That's the problem. That's why I'm out there.
Right, so him alone out there now because nobody else can go out there go articulate that capitalist agenda.
Lord.
Nobody can articulate it. It's a capitalist agenda that is designed to make rich people richer and richest and richerest. I can't to them girls. That's what it is. So them can only date one and then date him not articulating an agenda.
But
What
him,
him
him not speak the capitalist language, so
no,
are the
no,
wrong
no.
messenger.
Him is not one of them. Him is just the boy when them I use to make all of this noise now. As soon as they get power, they will have absolutely no use for this riffraff, this loudmouth riffraff. They will have no use for him as soon as them reach whatever goal them intend to reach. They will throw him away like a dirty rag. But I'm saying that what he is saying is just 2 or 3 things, and him loud and him screaming, yeah, because him have to rile up to make people believe, because them still don't get it that the Jamaican electorate has shifted. It's not that anymore.
But the policy when come out with about the food tax and everything, you know, so what is most frightening about all of this to me so far is that they don't understand that Jamaica has this treaty where they have to abide by this agreement with our partners, and when it comes down to import and trade and everything. So when Dayton Campbell is gonna go out there and say those things, I'm wondering if they are even aware of our history of these treaties, because they cannot be to go out there and go make a blunder like that.
Remember, though, I know that they can say anything they want, and the people stupid enough to put them in power. They can backtrack. Happens all the time. What they need is to get convinced these. Andrew Wallace come out there with him irrigation. Me hear Mark talk about irrigation, but him not say nothing about where him going irrigate, right? Or how much him going irrigate, and just throw it out, because Wallace came out and said that there are 3,000, 4,000 acres that are going between Clarendon and St. Elizabeth, right? 4,000 acres that are going to be irrigated this year. That means more food, right? Unless a hurricane or something come. That's more food they're talking about, which should bring the food price down. Then when they bring the one now for St. Elizabeth, that took them off guard. So they had to come up with this quick thing I talk about. Then going give the farmers loans and help them with the what they call it, land preparation and all them sort of something. Apparently them not afraid homeless thief that. So them came out and spoke of their plan, because the government and remember the government is there. It's for them to do all the Englishman can do it for him cronies. Is to make promise. You understand? So that's why they came out with that.
Let me just ask this question before we leave. Because we have to do another, if I even once a week until the election, we have to do this again. I don't know if you guys are of the view that there is this oligarchy shaping up in Jamaica as what we see in the US with Trump and Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and the billionaires coming together to lead a country. Is that what we're seeing in Jamaica? Because I don't know if there are billionaires, millionaires in Jamaica who are hiding and funding Golden and Bunting and wanting to get on that train so that they can eat some gravy, once the train takes off. What do you guys think about that? The Tapanaris class then.
That's Karen.
Karen?
Yeah. Go on, Michelle.
No, man, you're that man. You're the political lady.
What I want Jamaica, I'm going to answer your question, Manny, but what I'd very much like Jamaica to look into when you're talking about the oligarchy is what is happening in America is not some kind of we call it there's a word for it. I can't come to my head right now, but it's not a fluke. it's not something it's not something that is easy to assess to say that this is what happened. The American people knew and knows who Donald Trump is.
Mm-hmm.
In 2016, they knew him as the apprentice and had him as a successful businessman and him flamboyant, and that was what they had in their mind in 2016. That could be explained. But after seeing him in action for the last 9 years, after knowing got all the information that they got in terms of who he is and what he does, they went out and they voted for him. The question that we should be asking is there an appetite for that kind of thing in Jamaica? And it is a very serious question, because all across the world, incumbent government are losing elections. All across the world. And I mean, even in Japan, which is a strange thing. And I mean that is there an appetite for the things that they are selling, that the oligarchy and the capitalist structure and the dictatorship, and mash it down, and Mark Gold in them mash down the PNP and say we'll build it back in 5 years, and them take power by any means necessary, and them hold on to the power and them let it go, and them are doing them. Is there an appetite for that? I think that's the question we should be asked, and not if there is oligarchs all over the place in the wings gearing up to turn Mark Gold an idiot, because we know that there are business people and money people in the background, not hoping that he win, but knowing that if he should win, their life would be easier because them can run over them.
Okay.
Them can run over them because of the lack of the lack of political experience among them, and they have seen how they operate within the last 4 years, and they see that it's just Vietnam, Mark and Bunting, and sometimes Angela. And if the Jamaican people should elect them, she would play a lesser role. But what they see, what the Matalans and the Azans and the Big Nels, what they see is a group of people that are, corrupt, and it would be easy. It would be easy to get everything that they need to get from them. It is not a hard thing to figure out when the private sector come out and start talking about Jamaica's independence and a day and all them kind of. Those are things they are throwing out. One, to frighten Mr. Holness, why we're not gonna go out and say no good things about it, drop something, give us some things. That, and two, to play a footsie, to flirt with Mark Golden, just in case. Because they know that it will be an easy feat for them. There's nobody in that Rise leadership, not a single person with any kind of national or political chops, no experience, none. So they would be easy to manipulate. It wouldn't be a hard thing for them to manipulate. So the oligarchs, them always edge them bet, Them not betting on one team, Them never ever bet on one team. The money people in this country never ever bet on one team. They will pour a bunch of money into one team, and do a 60-40 bet or a 45-55 bet. That's how them do that. That's how them spread their money, and it also have to do with how they spread themselves and the people that they know, the relationships that they have built over the years, because the entire world run on favors,
That's why it's so important to have a leader with the mental fitness to be able to say no when it's necessary, and to know what to say yes to, right?
That goes without saying.
Yeah, jeez. All right, well, I'll stop right here, so we come back and do this again now.
All right.
Yes. I thank you ladies so much for joining. And the people
No
in the
problem.
comment, they have been very active and, listening in, saying that they like what you guys are saying and stuff. So interesting. Make us see where this goes. Is there any final word you guys want to say to Dr. Longmore?
Now we're carrying on.
You can't talk to man?
Oh, what me have to say to Dr. Longmore? We don't have anything to say to Dr. Longmore.
Karen, you have anything to say to Dr. Longmore? Because she might have listened.
Karen look like she gone.
Oh, all right then.
No, I just the only thing I have to say, I wait to see what is going to happen next. Yeah. By the way, did you play that prayer at the National Prayer Breakfast? You
I
play it
did,
yet?
and I'm gonna play it again for those who came late.
Yes,
Yeah.
man, play it late. Let me hear it and let me see if I have anything to say.
All right then, I'll play it real quick. Thank you for reminding.
We intercede this morning on behalf of the leader of the parliamentary opposition, Mr. Mark Golding. Lord, grant him what he needs to be grounded and level-headed, calm and composed in the cut and thrust of doing politics in Jamaica, and especially during this season of heightened political activity. Lord, may he, by his manner of being and speaking, embody and exemplify to all Jamaicans conduct that is upright and wholesome. Adorn his life with the virtues of honesty, decency, integrity, respect, and commitment to country. In difficult times when he is tested, give him a spirit of restraint and graciousness. Save him from the temptation to seek power at all cost and to engage in cheap, divisive rhetoric.
Why, that was quite a prayer there.
I have the full speech and the one for Andrew Holness as well. I will send it to you.
Yes, thank you very much.
No, this is the second pastor that is preaching over this man, right? And as you say in the first one with that pastor from that bishop from the country,
Pray against
then
this.
pick up what go on with him.
Oh, and when she pray, everybody look on him,
If you ever see the man fidget, if you ever see the full speech of the man of fidget, him just like him die, him just and then him, I don't know, there was a ticking one in his left jaw. I tell you something is wrong with that man.
Send it, come give him. Look on him.
Yes, I have to split it in two because it's 10 minutes.
Okay.
I mean that message, boy, may I tell you, cheap political and divisiveness. And then no, that was the 16th.
Win at all costs.
And that was the 16th. And yesterday, he was at it again. I tell him he's a slow learner.
Then after the separate and the DJ them cuss about heap a bad word front time down and sitting there and not saying nothing.
And I was there talking about he said people are tell lie upon him. I'm going to do a video upon the one to make us see which lie people are tell upon him. So you can listen out for that.
All right, go on. Good night.
Night, everybody.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. This is the program for tonight. That was Jamaica 411. If you haven't subscribed, hop on over to Jamaica 411's channel and Karen's channel. They put out some pretty good content that I'm sure you will enjoy. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we have a few months to the election, so I'm thinking we should make a schedule where we can all come together and do this at the very least once a week. What do you guys say about that? I think that would be a good idea. All right, guys. Well, this wraps it up for tonight. Make sure that you like the video before you leave. All 1,400 of uno. Make sure that you're sharing our content, guys. Please and thank you. And if you have not subscribed, please do. Silent listeners, big up on yourself. Guys, we'll catch up tomorrow. Have a good night.
Cause it don't take me nothing to come up here and rub out Andrew, rub out Tufton, rub out Slide, and rub out the one of them. And we big and broad, and we not afraid, and no boy nowhere not there.
The longest black democracy in Jamaica, in the world, should not have the possibility of that image being found. The possibility, whatever made him make that decision to do that.
The next PNP government intends to move Jamaica in the right direction.